Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to my recap of Life After Lockup. Welcome to my recap of Life After Lockup Season 3, Episodes 31 and 32, Toe or Never, and 30 Day Fiancé. Ow, oof, the shade in that. All right, you guys, it's been a long time since I've done an edited recap, and I am so excited to give you guys all of the facial expressions that I could possibly muster up. So let's jump right into this video. But before we do so, please go on ahead and subscribe to my channel. You know you want to. You come here and you check for me, but you don't have to. If you subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, then you'll be alerted whenever I put a video up. And go on ahead and thumbs up this video while you're at it, or thumbs it down, like whatever you want to do, girl, it's up to you. Thank you guys for all of your well wishes and your positive vibes. I am 2 weeks post-op and I'm feeling good. Let's jump right into this episode, and let's first begin with Marcelino and Brittany. In episode Toe or Never, or Now or Never, the thing is though with that pun, like it doesn't work because you don't say toe, tow. It would be different if it was like it's tow or never, but it's not tow or never, it's toe or never, which doesn't make sense. Brittany is still in Alaska with her mother, working out some kinks in their relationship and also helping her mother to heal from a tragic accident. Turns out that it wasn't necessarily a tragic accident, but Brittany had to hear from her mother's own lips that she had attempted to commit suicide. So Cindy was in a huge explosion in a cabin in Alaska, and she lit a cigarette and she just remembers a big boom, and that's it. She was burnt on 80% of her body. Brittany skipped out on her parole in order to fly to Alaska to be able to be with her mother because they honestly thought that it was going to be her last days. And Cindy recovered, however, taking pills, using alcohol, all of those things to cover up the fact that this woman has been very sad and lonely and has felt unloved and worthless for the majority of her life due to the things that had happened in her childhood, the trauma of her past. We just get to see Cindy's journey for the last couple of episodes, which I'm not mad about because I do think that it's a part of life, and I think that it is something that Marcelino didn't necessarily know he was getting himself into, but it is a part of their story. And so for me, thank you guys so much for sharing that. The next couple that we're going to talk about is Lamar and Andrea. So in their segment of episode 31, Andrea is getting ready because she and Lamar have a date night. Now, she's having a lot of mixed emotions about this because Lamar doesn't know how to be romantic or plan a date. And I think that must be her love language or something. And so because Lamar has not been able to do it up to her satisfaction, she's argued with him about it in the past. She's not necessarily looking forward to this date, but Lamar has a trick up his sleeve. He has decided to buy her a car, a whole Jeep, girl. He says that he's been doing well with his beats and his music, and he wanted to surprise Andrea and get her a car. Him and Tennyson are kind of worried that Andrea is going to be ungrateful and start complaining, but she doesn't. When she comes outside, she sees her new Jeep with the bow on it, and she is very satisfied and happy that Lamar has bought her this gift, and she says that it makes her feel loved. Every time I go to get a car, it's always like to the dealership, and I'm either in a lease or I'm buying to own. So I'm just like, well, I want a man who has like 7 to 10 G's that can go out and just buy me a car. Okay, Lamar, I see you. I see you. I thought it was a really sweet moment, and I'm happy that we got to see some ray of sunshine when it comes to these two and their relationship. When Andrea's getting ready, she mentions to Priscilla that her and her dad are going to go off and start making out and kissing. And Priscilla's like, Mom, you don't need to tell me these details. I'm okay. And I was like, thank you, Priscilla. No one needs these details. We're okay. So the next couple that we are going to talk about is Sean and Destiny. Good for ya, okay? Good for ya. I am so happy that Sean finally stood on his 2 feet and handled his shit like a man, okay? So he calls a tow truck after she has acted a fool and played him and made him feel like he was absolutely nothing but a trick at the courthouse. He then is like, well, then if you don't want to be with me and if we're no longer together and you're no longer my fiance, I'm gonna go ahead and take my car back. He calls a tow truck, hangs out in her neighborhood like a creep. Tow truck gets there. This man don't even have the keys to the car to prove it's his. I was a little confused because I was like, how you get this man to tow this truck when you can't even prove this car is yours? But he must have bought the registration or something. I'm confused about the technicality of it, but here's the deal. It doesn't matter. It happened and Destiny was pissed, so I was happy. So Destiny and her sister are in the house talking shit about Sean, saying, well, it was a clean break. I finally told him what was what. I can't believe his dumbass came to the courthouse after I told him not to. He's so dumb. And so I gave him his ring back and now it's done. I am free. I am clear. I did what I had to do. So Sean is in the front with the tow truck, hitching her car up. Destiny comes out like, what the hell, man? What are you doing? This is my car. And I'm like, sis, this is not your car. Remember when Destiny used to talk about how her and Sean had really good sex? So as far as I'm concerned, the fact that the sex was good for her means that Sean don't owe her anything, okay? Now, if the sex was bad, I could see her wanting that car. I could see her being like, I laid up underneath you and your terrible ass D. And now you don't want to give me this car? When you had lied to me about your age, you had lied to me about how many kids you have, you had lied to me about the relationship between you and your ex. I mean, I'm not saying that Destiny has two legs to stand on, but she got a little bit of a lean on one leg, you know what I'm saying? Because he did come out with the shits in the beginning. He did come up with the lies. He wasn't clear and honest with her from the jump. But what she has done to him since then has superseded any wrongs that he has done, in my opinion. And the fact that they were having good sex is just icing on the cake. So she tries to jump on the tow truck talking about she's not gonna move, and I'm like, bitch, don't nobody care if you don't move, okay? If you fall and bust your head, the only person that's gonna care is your sister Brittany. Car is already on the bed of the tow truck, pops the trunk, and she grabs her stuff out and is just talking shit as though she is not getting what's coming to her, as if chickens are coming home to roost, as if she's not having a pie in her face right now. But her and her sister are just like, whatever, use a punk ass, use a bitch, going ahead and act this way, going ahead and run back to your whack ass baby mama, next time I see you, I'm about to fight you, I will go to jail to fight you. And I'm like, you're a loser. The fact that she's about to put herself in jeopardy to go back to prison to prove a point is stupid. I don't think that what's happening with him is over because he still has his 50K up. Like, I'm like, figure it out, Sean. Pull back your bond. You don't need to put up money for her. She broke y'all's agreement. Sean drives off with the car and Brittany and Destiny are left in the front yard talking shit about Sean. Like, he ain't shit. He ain't nothing. I used him. He was just a trick. He's a little bitch ass. He gonna go back to his bitch ass baby mama. And I'm just like, y'all just look stupid. So, bye bye. Okay, so the next couple that we're going to talk about is Puppy and Amber. So we find out in this episode that Amber has been talking to her old boo, the guy she used to run drugs with, do drugs with, and fight with all the time. And his name is Sammy, and he's getting out of prison soon, but she's talking to him because she feels like she has fallen back in love with him. And I'm like, girl, like, if you're clean and your life has turned over a new leaf, just find a new man. So her mother has somehow convinced the parole officer to allow her to cross state lines to go visit her daughter. Amber picks up her mother, and her mother and her are due to meet Puppy for lunch, and they are very excited about this. Now, Mama is not down with Sammy, okay? Mama is trying to figure out why Amber's not trying to get with Puppy, or at least be honest with Puppy, which I like the mom for that. I like the fact that the mom seems to be momming, because from what information that I was given, I mean, anytime that you do drugs and sell drugs with your daughter, it's a problem. So for me, the fact that she's actually giving her daughter some solid advice about Sammy makes me go, okay, maybe her mother has grown up a little bit. So they get to the spot and Puppy is late. But I guess because Amber isn't ferrying her to and fro, they don't necessarily know what she's doing. It's kind of whatever. When Puppy gets there, they start to give the rundown about Vince and what went wrong with that. And Puppy says that she got a letter, you know, because she petitioned the court to get more information about the documents for the adoption. It turns out that Vince forged her signature on that document. So he has been getting money from the government through the military for adopting Puppy, has not given any money to her yet, and also hasn't been putting anything on her books, hasn't been doing anything for her. So he got her involved in a scam and then didn't even cut her in. So Puppy's ready to just roll up down there with Amber, and Amber's like, whoa, 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 I'm not doing any shit that's gonna get me in trouble. Okay, Mom's like, y'all not gonna do anything wrong, just roll up there. And Puppy's like, yeah, and Amber's like, no, you two, no, 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 no more prison for me. That is not who I am. Puppy's just looking for the next fun thing to do. I think she's really bored. I think she's depressed. I think she's heartbroken. She says that Amber doesn't really speak to her, and every time she does, it seems like she's mad at her. And Amber says that she's shielding Puppy from getting the information about Sammy because she says that Puppy's really fragile. But my thing is like, girl, you know Puppy's using. There is no way this bitch has lost as much weight as she's lost. Okay, and she's been drinking the way she's been drinking. Puppy's doing part-time house cleaning for rentals with a homegirl named Queen that they were in prison with. And you know Puppy is boosting things. If she's not stealing alcohol, she's stealing other stuff. Puppy says that she's never had a regular job in her life. But she also doesn't want to stop living her life. Like, she's still gonna have fun. And I think it's so interesting that her idea of having fun equals criminal behavior. So in last week's episode, Puppy was due to meet up with Amber and her mother once again, and she's late. And Amber is annoyed by this. She's like, where's Puppy? Like, why isn't Puppy here? My mom came all the way down here just to see us specifically, and each time Puppy's supposed to appear, she's not showing up on time. So she gets there, girl. It looks like Puppy has had a drink or two. You know what I'm saying? She's wearing a crazy outfit. I mean, sis, that weird fake Louis Vuitton hat, those sunglasses from like a J-Lo era. It's like a green bodysuit with some white shorts and a black belt. Listen, I know you've been in prison for a minute, but get you the Instagram, okay? Figure out the way that people are dressing these days, because what's happening is not it. So Puppy's late, and Amber's like, I'm gonna be late for work because of you. And Puppy's like, well, can you take me to work? And Amber's like, I'm already gonna be late. Like, I'm late now currently because of you, and now you want me to drop you off at work? Puppy's like, well, fine, I'll just walk. And I'm like, girl, y'all's in Georgia. Like, y'all can't walk nowhere. So Amber pulls up to her as she's walking and tells her to get into the car. Puppy wants to stop at the liquor store. Amber's like, no, we're not stopping at the liquor store. You need to get your shit together. And Puppy's like, I don't understand why you always want to fight with me. I don't understand why everything is a big deal. Like, let's just go to Vegas. Let's have fun. Let's talk to Vince. And Amber's like, no, 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 no. No, I'm not doing any of those things. Amber got a call from Sammy whilst they were waiting for Puppy, stating that he was getting out of prison in a few days. And now all of a sudden the timeline has been moved up. So Amber is even more upset with Puppy, more frustrated with all the things that she's got going on, because she's not being honest with Puppy, she's not being honest with Sammy, and she's not being honest with herself. She's trying to figure out Puppy's emotional like range and how much she can take and how much she can't take. And I'm like, either way it goes, Puppy is already spiraling out. Unfortunately, when you have never had a regular job in your life, when you have been in and out of prison from a certain age, when your mother is now on dialysis and is going to need a new kidney, girl, or whatever health problems Puppy's mom has, like, there's a lot on Puppy. She doesn't know how to manage regular life. She doesn't know how to do that because she's never done it. And everyone's just like, poof, expecting her to do it. And I'm like, unless you have a certain amount of therapy and support to really get yourself through this time, like, you're not going to be able to do it. And I don't know if Amber has had the same background or upbringing as Puppy, but whatever it is, Puppy's unable to manage it and Amber is. Speaking of somebody who doesn't really know how to live life because they went into prison real early and now they think they're grown and they can get married, let's talk about Quaylon and Chevelle. Oh my God. As I look at myself in the viewfinder, I'm like, do I look like Quaylon? Do I look like him? Am I doing it? Am I giving you like Quaylon teas? Girl, this wig I got from Amazon, I'm gonna link it down below. I love it. It's not hurting me. This is this band that's built into it. In last week's segment with Quaylon and Chevelle, we are just hot off the Ferris wheel of them getting engaged. They go back to their hotel room and put Maila to sleep. And Quaylon and Chevelle are talking about some of the expectations that she has going forward for this relationship now that she's forgiven him. She wants his phone unlocked and or to have the password to it. She wants it to be very clear that he's not to be DMing any women women. He's not to be talking to any women, nothing like that. And Quaylon's like, why I gotta do all that? And she's like, because this is just what it is. And he's like, you know, you're right. It's all right. I can give you all that information, you know. And he's thinking that he's about to get some because he's finally made up with her and he did what he was supposed to do. And she's like, no, no, bro, you're gonna get your own room, okay? You're gonna get your own room. So when Quaylon leaves the room, he runs into D-Mark in the hallway and he tells D-Mark that him and Chevelle are engaged. They're going to get married. That's his wife. He got on one knee. And D-Mark is like, how do you even know how to be? What do you mean you got on one knee? Who taught you that? And he's like, there was life before prison. And he's like, but for a 17-year-old, he was like, I was in these streets. I was living life. And I'm like, oh my God. Quaylon is completely delusional to think that the life that he led when he was 17 is like anything that's going to inform the life that he's leading now. And he thinks that he's just going to run up in this situation and just be married. D-Mark is like, what did you tell me when you first got out? And then what did you do? You're not going to do any of this stuff, man. You think that you're doing this. You think that you're a man, but you don't even know all the things that are needed in this situation. And now my cousin's going to be stupid with you? Nah. When y'all get married, I'm going to be the first one to say that I don't agree. They end up getting in a little scuffle tuffle in the hallway and woo, girl, Chevelle comes out upset. She's mad at both of them because Maila is there and she does not want to be embarrassed in Branston on this today. Two of them cool off and go into their own corners. And I completely understand D-Mark's point of view, but I don't think fighting Quaylon is going to do anything. And Quaylon is so smug because he asked her to get married. It is crazy. I'm like, Quaylon, you know you didn't do too much of nothing, right? Then the next morning, Maila knows that something's up between Daddy and D-Mark. So Chevelle and Quaylon have a little conversation about how they're going to damage control this situation for Maila. And she's decided that she is going to have D-Mark and Quaylon in the car as she drives back to Kansas City. She didn't even have the nerve to text message D-Mark and tell him prior to that this was happening. So D-Mark pulls the car around and he's shocked to see Quaylon standing there with his bags. He's like, where this nigga going? She has these two men sort of shake it out, you know, hug it out or whatever, so that Maila can believe that everything is okay with Uncle D-Mark and Daddy. So the first time they were just like, yeah, man. And then Maila's like, that's not right. Y'all not hugging. Y'all not friends. They do more of a like, man, hug or whatever and get in the car. And D-Mark is pissed. Okay, and Quaylon thinks that he has the upper hand for whatever reason. So once they get back to Kansas City, Quaylon calls his mother and tells his mother, it's on FaceTime, and she's telling him, like, this is not a good idea. Did Chevelle manipulate you? Like, why are you doing this? And Chevelle loses her manners in that moment. Like, she is unable to just let this mother be a mother. Let his mother say whatever it is that she needs to say. And just do what you want to do anyway. She's like, well, she doesn't like me. Girl, she doesn't have to like you. You're not ready to be anybody's daughter-in-law with the way you're behaving. Shame on you. He tried to get you to calm down so that he could have a conversation with his mother, but you trying to be antagonistic throughout the whole thing because she's having a rightful reaction. Everybody around y'all knows that this is a bad idea because he's stunted except for you. And you the one with the child on the line. That's their awkward conversation with his mother. And then his mother's like, listen, call me back later when she's not there and we can have a real conversation. Then next we have Chevelle's mother who comes over. Okay, first of all, let me just say congratulations on the fact that that orange matte eyeshadow wasn't all creasy and nasty on her lid. And I really need to know her secret. Like, listen, let me tell you, if that were my eyelids, because it looks like there's no primer underneath it or there's no concealer underneath it to help it pop, which is fine because I get the subtle look she's going for. My thing is like, how has it not creased and or disappeared? If that were my eyelids, it'd be oily and it would just be gone by the time I got there for filming. This gold lipstick that she wears, ma'am, I'm over it. We're all over this gold lipstick. So if you could just put that to rest. Okay, I'm gonna need you to leave that gold lipstick in 92 where it came from. This frosty ass gold lipstick is getting on my nerves, child. Can't do it. But anyways, mother comes over and she's upset about it too, because she's like, how are you guys gonna do this? You're not thinking about it. And then she ends up telling us that she was somebody in her 20s who stayed and got married with a man who wasn't right for her and the situation wasn't right. Chevelle was there and experienced it, so she doesn't understand why Chevelle would want to continue this cycle. Everybody just wants that nuclear family. They want to feel like they have a husband and the house and a child, and they have all these things going for them, which is like this American dream. And they'll just kind of do whatever to get to it. I don't know how Chevelle doesn't see that Quaylan is not it, especially not right now. Oof. This is a long episode. We're 22 minutes in. Okay. So the next couple that we're going to talk about is Sean, John, and Lacey. No, Shane, John, and Lacey. So we finally have a showdown between John and Lacey's father. Oh, let's just call him Papa. So Papa goes to John's house and basically is like, leave my daughter alone. And yes, she's the one who called the police on you. And anytime you want to throw down, we can throw down. And I always think to myself, how these people think that they are going to be in relationship with someone whose parents they are fighting. Like, John, you're not going to be with Lacey. You have already done all the wrong things with this woman's father. So it's over with. When John finds that out, I mean, John is so sad. It just throws him into like a tizzy, because he says that he doesn't honestly understand what happened, that they were supposed to be working on their relationship together. And then she just like flipped a switch and called the police on him, knowing that he could have gone to jail for a long amount of time. And I'm like, first of all, I don't believe everything was honky-dory. I believe that you were drinking. I believe that you were probably using drugs. And she realized that this was not a good situation. And she found herself at that strip club. She found the situation she was in. And then instead of you just going home with her, you jumped in the car to drive away drunk. And so yes, she called the police on you to save your life and to get herself out of this situation. I think that she got with Shane, realized that what she did to John was real fucked up, breaking up with him while he was in prison, because she started talking to another guy who was in prison. Then she tried to like make up with it by moting Shane and making him feel dumb, like he was unloved by her. Then John ends up acting up and she realizes, damn, what did I do? I'm not saying Lacey's right in this, because she's not. She's just as trifling as the rest. However, I do see why she like called the police on him and was like, at this point, I'm done. I'm not saying that's what happened, but that could have been very well what happened. I think as a part of his therapy, because he can't get over it and he feels like it's unfinished business, John writes a note to Lacey. Dear Lacey, this is John. I love you. I also like to drink milk out of a wine glass. So John writes a letter saying all the things that he's feeling and that he doesn't want to talk to her again. This is the last time they'll have any contact. And he drives by her house. I mean, he seals it up and everything, girl. I thought that he was going to like put a stamp on it. I was like, well, I haven't seen that action in a long time. But he drives to her house and I assume puts it in her mailbox. Meanwhile, she's in the house not feeling too well, and Shane is trying to be the perfect husband for her, bringing her all the things that she's craving, making sure that she's comfortable. And he says that he couldn't find a pregnancy pillow for her. And I was like, Amazon.com. And so he brought her flowers instead. Now, truthfully, had it been me, I'm like, can I prop these flowers in between my legs so my knees don't knock while I'm sleeping on my side? Can I prop these flowers underneath my belly so that it doesn't hang over? No! Go find me that pregnancy pillow! But that would have just been me. So John is feeling real on the edge after he drops off the letter, and he hooks up with his ex-cellmate slash, like, I think, like, what's that sponsor? Like AA sponsor or NA sponsor, Lloyd. And they have some ice cream in the back of the truck, hanging out, just having some time where John can get off of his chest everything that he's feeling. And he says that he just doesn't understand why she would do that. He says that he does definitely regret his drug usage and the fact that, you know, when he gets that feeling and that urge, that it's hard for him to, you know, contain himself, that he just goes to the same spots and does the same things, and that he's really trying to turn over a new leaf this time because he doesn't want to go back to jail. I worry, as I do with anybody who used drugs, and especially hard drugs, in their formative years, that they just don't have the capacity to be able to make sound decisions, because for so long instead of letting their brain develop the way it was supposed to, they just clouded it over with drugs. And I think that John and Puppy and a lot of the people that we see on this show have a hard time getting off the drugs because of just the decision-making process when they were younger. That's why Brittany is such a testimony, because she was doing drugs in her teenage years. And a lot of times people who do drugs in their teenage years, in their early 20s, they don't come back from it. Because that's when you're really tested. That's when your mettle is tested. And if you can't get through it without having some kind of substance, especially the hard substance, and especially if you were living on the streets, there's a certain threshold that I won't go by. Like, I don't do drugs, not because I think they're bad, but because I know that at the end of the road, it's me somewhere on the street smelling stank with no teeth. You know what I'm saying? And that is not my path. That is not my ministry. Meth? I remember when meth first hit my city. My brother was born in 1985, and when he was in middle school, he had a friend who was tweaked out. Middle school. How does an 8th grader know how to get methamphetamine? That is a completely different world in which I do not live. I can't even, literally, if I tried to get crack, I don't even know how I would even begin to get it. Don't get me wrong, I found myself in situations when I was younger, when I would look left and I would look right, and I'm like, there's a little bit more going on here than just weed. And I don't want any part of it because there's most likely a gun somewhere. And possible sexual attack. So I'm gonna find my way on out of this situation, right? And my heart goes out to these people who find themselves in these shitty ass situations and they just kind of fold into it as opposed to like moonwalking slowly out of the picture. Cause that's me. I'm just like, I need my teeth. I enjoy luxury. I like nice things. And I won't have nice things if I'm on heroin. I honestly, in this scenario, hope the best for Shane. The next couple that we are going to talk about is Stupid Sarah and Trifling Ass Michael. So Stupid Sarah has allowed this man to stay in her home. She's grown, he's grown, and if they want to have sex, they're gonna have sex. So they've been having sex. And he been walking around the house talking about that he got that devil D. Some magical, enchanting penis. This man don't got a pot to piss in. This man makes his money off of asking women for money on social media from Cash App and Venmo, okay? He is nothing. I don't care how good the D is. I do not care. You are not gonna be just sitting up in my house. No, you will not. But Sarah is like, I need a co-parent. We need to figure this out. You know, seeing him with the kids has really lightened my heart and made me feel like, oh wow, we can do this. He's making pancakes or something with the girls and she's videoing it, talking about, yeah, your dad knows how to like, what's it, smack or beat something inappropriate. And I was like, ugh, Sarah. Another thing about Sarah that really bothers me are her eyebrows. Her hair is this platinum blonde that is like literally killing her hair. I could see the like breakage in her hair. And then she gonna have this like weird, dark, uneven brow. And I don't like it. She's sitting in her room and her homegirl Amy calls her and is talking to her and she got Amy on FaceTime and Amy's like, what's going on? And Sarah's like, well, Michael's staying here for a few weeks and you know, blah, blah, blah. And Amy's like, you're not having sex with him, are you? And she's just like, and then Amy's like, Sarah, why are you doing this? And she's just like, because I need to learn how to co-parent with him. So Amy says, how long is Michael staying? And Sarah turns to Michael and is like, how long are you staying? And Amy's like, girl, you got him in the room with you while I'm talking to you? And Michael's like, I don't even know why you're trying to explain anything to her. It's really weird that she's confused why two people who are married and have kids together are staying in the same house. And my mind is blown. If I were Amy, I would just have to stop fucking with Sarah until she was real done with Michael. That was makes me not a good friend because I couldn't do it. I mean, but the thing is though, I've already been through situations like this and I'm just like, girl, you just need to be messy on your own. I can't be there. I can't watch you do this. Too much. You're going to get me emotionally involved in this situation when you haven't even sorted out your own heart. So girl, then the next moment, Michael is packing up his bags and she comes to the room and she's like, and he's like, I'm gonna go home and visit my family for a while. I haven't seen them. And she's like, okay, I don't want to fight with you, but when I talk about us communicating with each other, this is what I'm talking about. Like, you have just decided that you're gonna go see your family and you didn't let me know so that I could make other arrangements in case I had plans or, you know, because I was banking on you being here. So please just let me know. And also with Ariana, you haven't told her, or Aviana, you haven't told her that you're leaving and you're just up and leaving. And you know, it's going to be blindsiding and she's going to be heartbroken. And he's like, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. And I'm happy that he didn't fight her, but I really don't think he sees what she's saying. I really don't understand how this man can spend a few weeks with his kids and then just up and leave, thinking that he's done what he's supposed to do. Like, what is wrong with you, dude? You've not done what you're supposed to do. So he's like, I'm gonna be back in a week. Like, don't worry, I'm gonna be back. And so he bounces, and this is where the production plays her and calls the episode 30 Day Fiance. Girl, played her whole life. It's hilarious. A week later, she hasn't heard anything from him. He's not returning her phone calls nor answering them. Doing whatever it is that he wants to do. So Amy comes over, they get a little salsa and guacamole, and they're having drinks. And so she decides to call Malcolm, leave things in a better place than where it is that they're left currently. And Emmy is supporting this choice. And I'm just like, you need to stop playing with Malcolm, okay? He got things to do. But he gonna come on this show, okay? I'm over Sarah. I mean, I've been over her. So anyways, it's just the same old story. And it's the same old song. Just a different beat since you've been gone. It's the same old song. Just a different since you've been gone. Boom, 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 boom. So anyways, they get on my nerves, both of them. He's a vampire. She an idiot. She's like, I don't know if Michael has another girl. I'm like, girl, you do know. You know he does. Have you been giving him money? Then if you haven't, who has? I'm so tired. Y'all got me sitting back. I'm over them. All right, so the final couple that we're going to talk about is Christiana and John. Okay, so we've got Christiana and John, and so John has kicked out her sister, trifling ass Tara, because she cannot live in a house with anybody who has any chargers. So he goes down to the Iowa Women's Correctional Facility to pick up his wife this time, for the second time. And she comes out. She says that she's gained like 30 pounds while being in prison. As she's exiting, the other inmates are clapping for her. And I thought it was sweet, even though it's a crazy ass situation, it was so sweet. And they get into the car and she's like, I can't wait to get home to suck your D and to make babies. And he's just like, woo, can't wait for it either. So she asks him, do I not look fat? And he's like, I am not answering that question. And then she asks him, so has my sister flirted with you? Like, what's going on with that? And he's like, no. He had the grand opportunity to be like, yes. But he decides that he's going to lie and wait for her to see this on the show in order to tell her. So I just thought that was a dumb move. But she's like, well, why? And he says, because you're my wife and I'm in love with you and I don't want to do that to us. He stops, makes her do a COVID test and tells her it isn't going to be so bad. But then she got her brain scraped. And so she was like, you are a liar. And then they go off and they have sex in the woods. So in the next scene we see with them, she's got her hair lightened all of a sudden. At least it looked lighter to me. And they're on their way to his house, to their house. And they get there. She says hello to his 3 kids that are actually living there. He's got 8 kids. And I just need to know the mama breakdown. Where are these mothers? How is John the more responsible party? But maybe he is, because he got a whole house. When Christiana sees her mother, it's a tearful reunion. They sit down to eat dinner, which consists of maybe just fried chicken and ketchup. I wanted to know what else was on that dinner table. And I thought it was really sweet. Like, so my family does not sit at a dinner table and eat together. When we were kids, all the kids sat at the dinner table, but my parents never sat with us. Like, it was not a thing. So whenever I see people sitting down to have a meal, I'm always like, what is on this table? Me, I like to take my plate and go sit in front of a TV. So sitting down with just people around to talk to is so interesting to me when you're not in a restaurant. She goes downstairs because she's feeling a little overwhelmed. And the next morning we get an amazing shot of John in his boxers and a conversation where they talk about how they've had so much sex. I mean, it's just something we didn't need in our lives, but producers thought we needed it. I beg to differ. They've had sex up and down and everywhere in that small house. And according to Tammy, she can hear things through the vents. So I wonder what an earful she got that night. Christiana and her mother go for a walk and they go have breakfast somewhere, in which Tammy then turns on John. I don't know what's going on, but him and Tara, they had something going on. I would hear him through the vents. Christiana is like, oh, really? Tammy's like, yes, also, where does he get all his money from? I think he's scamming. Tell me, why are you worried about where this man's getting his money from? Where are you getting your money from? The state? Because he's taking you in and now you are completely turning on him. I'm not saying you're not supposed to tell your daughter if something's going on, but damn. Talking about you think he's doing fraudulent stuff again. You don't know this man's life. Bill collectors are calling for John, so I don't know like what's going on really with the financial situation. Christiana says that he has been working double shifts at work, and so that's how he was able to, you know, afford the things that he has. But I'm also like, what is John buying? Like, he's not buying brand new cars off the lot. John is buying used cars. I mean, listen, I don't know about that life. I don't know, but I don't know that he's spending that much money on so many luxurious items. Sienna is going to probably have an opportunity to talk to John about his relationship with Tara, but Christiana drops a little bomb on us that at some point, not only does she have a 21 or 21-year-old son out there that she got taken away from her because of drug usage in her earlier years, but also that she has had sex with Tara's baby daddy because they got drunk and carried away and they had sex with each other. Now, my question is, did she have sex with the baby daddy when Tara and the baby daddy were still together? If not, then I'm just like, did she love the baby daddy or was it just a baby daddy? Christiana didn't say, I had sex with my sister's boyfriend. She just said, I had sex with my sister's baby daddy. That could have been just some dude in the trap house that Tara happened to get pregnant by. I need the deets before I'm gonna judge Christiana. I mean, I'm already judging her for too much. There's a lot going on in that woman's life too, and I really do hope she stays clean. Again, it's hard for those people who were high in their early 20s for them to really come out and be good, especially the fact that now she's gonna have to be mom to these 3 kids. Now, I'm not saying they need mothering, but there's a 13-year-old that will need some kind of role model, you know? Then there's an 18-year-old, and I think there's a 15-year-old. And none of these people have met Christiana. And then on top of the fact that she's now moving into their house, like, this has got to be an odd, awkward situation. So my heart goes out to those kids. All right, you guys, so that is the end of this episode. I want to thank you guys so much for supporting me and watching my channel. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to check out my other channel called Wahima, Lino, where I talk about my single mother by choice journey. So if you want to keep up with what's going on in my personal life, I'm going to do slightly different content on that channel. It's more about me, my life, funnies, things I like to eat, stuff like that. So it's more of a personal channel. So if you want to check that out, please do so. Show your girl some love. All right, you guys, have a fantastic week, and remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye. Check out these videos. Check them out. Check these videos out. Check them 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 out. Dee 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 dee.